Okay, the other player that we hear a lot about these days is BubbleRAN. Right? Everybody has heard about BubbleRAN. And Navid, who's the CEO of BubbleRAN, is here. He's going to speak about what BubbleRAN does. Navid is professor at EURECOM. So in this case, in the case of BubbleRAN, this is really being born out of EURECOM, this company. And I guess EURECOM is a shareholder as well. So, let's give the floor to Navid.
So good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm very happy.
Navid?
Yes?
Could you please?
Okay. Very happy to be here for the 10th anniversary of OpenAirInterface. We have been working on OAI. Christian explained everything at the beginning of this session for a long time. So it's a journey that we have been through over a long time. BubbleRAN has been created as a spin-off of EURECOM based on the needs that we have been seeing in the research community, but then evolved to, let's say, ORAN. So we try to also understand what ORAN is trying to take the 5G to the next level of the programmability. And also with the introduction of the private 5G, we also noticed that open source could also play a role in the private 5G. So EURECOM and OpenAirInterface are the foundation of BubbleRAN, as you can see in this picture. We rely on this fertile ecosystem that has been created in this building, in the previous building, discussions in the lab, and based on that, we obtain the core values of open source, R&D, and also the standard that are essential here when you really want to go forward with this telecom industry, and especially open source. And because of these core values, we grow the innovative mindset. So we're always looking forward. What is next that is going to change the foundation of the telecom? The market we are covering is educational market. So we use our products in EURECOM course, 5G courses, for R&D and also for the private 5G. We have three differentiated values in BubbleRAN. From the product development strategy, we are rethinking 5G in cloud-native environment. Not just putting it in a Docker, not just putting it in Kubernetes, but what does it mean cloud-native 5G? What is the meaning of teleco DevOps, CI/CD, complying with the principle of the CNCF that has been laid out online? So for us, 5G, cloud-native 5G, needs to have a scalability, agility, and the flexibility to be able to deploy the 5G at a scale. And that we will see there will be a lot of, let's say, byproduct of this cloud-native that very important in 5G, but also in 6G. In terms of the technology innovation front, we are looking into the RAN intelligence. So how we could make the RAN more intelligent. So ORAN is the enabler. ORAN provides the API, the interface to program the RAN, but what at the end matters is the control logic and the intelligence you put behind all of those things. And we are seeing more and more the AI and the Gen AI are going to play a fundamental role in realizing the RAN intelligence. And another important factor in this RAN intelligence is to bring the application in the loop. You cannot realize the RAN intelligence by excluding the application. So we have seen some of the slides. So we bring the application in the loop. We try to make the intelligence as a function of application, but not as a function of the network. So we are not trying necessarily to optimize the network API. They are very important, rate, latency, but also what application at the end of the day are going to see. In terms of the market strategy, we believe open ecosystem is very important. So open ecosystem doesn't only stand for open source, but it is larger than open source in the sense that you realize the neutrality. Neutrality in the sense that at the end is the client who decides what is the right combination for their use case. This is what ORAN is actually promoting, multi-vendor, right? The meaning of multi-vendor means you are neutral in terms of the vendor of your choice. It could be Ericsson, or could be something based on OpenAirInterface, right? So open ecosystem brings the neutrality, also brings this long-term support that Cedric was saying, sustainability, how you can actually make sure that this open source goes forward. Another go-to-market strategy that we put forward is the differentiated IP. Because we have grown this innovative mindset, we are always thinking about what kind of IPs we could provide to in the telecom market. In terms of the product, we have 3 main products, similar to what you see in Albi Smart and what you see in FireCell. So one of the products is designed for education and R&D, which is MX PDK, stands for Multi-X Platform Development Kit. This one, it is essentially a 5G ORAN infrastructure at a scale. So any scale that you would like to have, whether it is private cloud or public cloud, doesn't matter. You can deploy a 5G ORAN infrastructure. So we talk about infrastructure, we are not talking about in a box. So this means you are building an infrastructure that scales to the scale that you would like to have. The limit is your compute resources at the end of the day. We provide sustainable development kit to develop XApps, to develop containers that are complying with ORAN and complying with CNCF Kubernetes. Full cloud native automation, RAN slicing, and also the AI framework included. In MX Pro, we go towards the zero-touch private 5G. Again, at a scale, because we leverage all of these 3 products, they are using the same core. The technology is the same, they are derived to different market. So we had a benchmark leading performance for this MX Pro, and it provides reliability and security. So the focus here was more on reliability and security. And the last one is OpenRAN Studio, Multi-X OpenRAN Studio. This is our effort to provide the digital twin networks based on OAI and RFC. So this essentially, as you see in the figure, so you have a physical network. It creates the multiple digital twin to, for instance, perform the what-if analysis or explore the possibilities of, if I apply this control logic into the network, what will happen. And we do have the demo of all of these 3 in the floor number 1 that I invite you actually to go and have a look. So if I want to give you a much bigger picture, what do we mean by infrastructure? This is the figure that I can a little bit elaborate on. So essentially, you have an environment which could be a combination of the private cloud and the public cloud. So some of the network function might be deployed in the public cloud. Some of them could be deployed in your private cloud. You have some infrastructure that are used to deploy the near RTX, CU, DU, and RU, all connected through the switching fabric. We also support the PDU, Power Distribution Unit, and this also allows you to manage the power across all of these elements and do the monitoring and the power measurement. And then you have on the top application node where you can have the business intelligence, data lake, or even the digital twin of the network. One of the things that I want to highlight here is that we support zero-touch remote provisioning. Anywhere in the world that you have your infrastructure, remotely we could install our software from here. So we have everything could be provisioned remotely into your infrastructure. And this is one example that you see you can have multiplicity of the deployments because each use case is different. They require SDR, accelerator, or RU. This infrastructure allows you to customize your network to a specific use case. In terms of like our evolution and the use case, we have been through 3 stages. The first stage in 2022 was more about the technology development and integration. So through this year, what we did is that we tried to develop the technology, integrate, and show a couple of use cases. For instance, we went through the automation in the private cloud, and we shown zero-touch 5G ORAN. So this was our DNA from the beginning, 5G ORAN. We also showed, for instance, 5G FR2. So this one was not done with OAI. This FR2 has been tested with Amarisoft in this case. So we did this experiment with a downlink data rate up to 1.4 gigabit per second. In 2023, we were looking more into the use case to show the relevance of our product to the community. So for instance, we had on-demand 5G IoT. We had multiplayer gaming, so we had a use case to show the gaming, and there we used the network slicing to demonstrate that through the proper network slicing, we can have this real-time multiplayer game. And now in 2024, we are more looking into the new concept and differentiated IPs. So we developed the concept of the Echo RAN, GPT RAN, Auto RAN, and 5G Direct. Some of them you can actually go and see also in the lab. For instance, Auto RAN is actually demonstrated in the lab. This is the idea, is that automatically you discover which application is coming into the RAN. You auto-slice and allocate the resources to meet the requirement of the application while satisfying the network. In terms of OAI and the relationship of BubbleRAN to OAI, what I can say is that in terms of the contribution, we are contributing to FlexRig. We have a dedicated branch which is called BR FlexRig, where the development that we are doing goes there. It is not merged into the develop, but this needs to be worked out. We also do testing, debugging, and validation of OAI across many use cases and provide feedbacks to the team here. Also contribution to the OpenAirInterface, for instance, for the RAN slicing, and open documentation and the lab. In terms of the promotion, so we always put OAI as a default 5G vendor in our products, although our product by design are multi-vendor. We consider OAI as a software asset in 5G, and we promote that, and we provide also market feedback and gaps in terms of what features are missing. And with OAI, we always do joint R&D demos and workshop. Some numbers here.
1 minute, Navid.
2 minutes, right?
1.
I have another time. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I wasn't aware, but
I have more time here than there. All right, no problem. So we are organically growing. So this is very important. We don't have investors. We are organically growing, and I like the slow path. I am not the fan of going to the fast path, right? So we are organically growing, so no pressure, no investor. Everything is by ourselves. We are developing little by little. So some numbers. Since we are, for instance, multi-vendor, we have more than 1K artifacts in our hub across all the vendors, all the XApps, everything we develop. 30 plus customers, 2 million of funding and turnover. And our team has been grown in US, Africa, and Asia so far. And last minute, I have 39 seconds. Yeah. In terms of how BubbleRAN could help you, what kind of partnership you could foresee, one thing that we see is about how to modernize the legacy RAN. So operators, they already have some networks, but they want to modernize with the, for instance, for ORAN. We do have the commodity ORAN stack. The ORAN stack that we develop is already a commodity, and it could be used for any 5G vendor. Intent-driven RAN automation, so all of our environment are intent-driven, following the principle of CNCF, and this zero-touch operation. From the RAN intelligence, we developed the observability stack. With this, you can collect the huge data from the infrastructure, from the energy, from the RAN, and from the application. So that gives you, for 5 minutes, you have at least 100 gigabytes of data if someone wants to collect the data and do some machine learning. So huge amount of data is available here. RAN optimization, digital twin at a scale. And in terms of the IPs, we have IPs for a new concept of 5G Direct, which is a direct connection in a peer-to-peer mode between the terminals, 5G router, everything inside one box, and mobile private network. With that, I think I'm good on time. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Irfan. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Please come and visit us at the booth. Yes.
Any questions to Navid? We can take one. If not, then I can ask you something, Navid, please,
Sure,
if you can come
please.
in the triangle. So, do you have any SMO plans? Is there an SMO product that BubbleRAN has?
Yes, actually, we have the full ORAN stack. So from E to agent, near arteric, non-arteric, and SMO and RAPs. Yeah.
And the O1 interface and those
O1
things?
interface, for instance, we interoperate O1 interface with Lighton, right? This has been validated on the all-in-one small cell, also on the RU front. We have the A1 interface, we have the E2 interface, and R1 interface.
Thank you, Navid.
You're welcome.
We should get some of these into OAI code base. That'd be great.
You mean the lower interface, right?
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. Thank you, Navid.
Thank you.